All right, cool, man. Nice, thanks. So right now we're in the atrium space, and this is actually the entrance of the building. We are about 70% done with the construction. When this is done, this is going to be arguably one of the best design offices in West Africa. Come along. Fortunately for me, I have had the opportunity to work out of probably the best office spaces on the planet, right? And that has become my standard. My Africa is young, bold, and inspiring. My name is Remi Dada, and I'm a designer in Nigeria.
Remi Dada and his company, Spacefinish, are behind some of Nigeria's most cutting-edge office spaces.
Spacefinish was a company that was literally born out of necessity. Right now, what we're doing is we are helping organizations create spaces that would allow their teams to be a lot more productive, a lot more collaborative, a lot more innovative, and we feel that by doing this, we can begin to redefine how office spaces look across Africa.
Born in Nigeria, Remi and his family moved to the US when he was 16. Several years after graduating from university, he moved back to his home country.
My first memories of Lagos was more or less growing up in my family house. We used to live in Yaba. Very, very fun childhood. When I was a kid, I used to draw a lot. I used to create a lot of comic books. And I used to think I was going to either make comic books or make video games, right? And then when I got older, I realized that making video games was more of programming than actually drawing. But I know in secondary school, I definitely was, one of my favorite classes was technical drawing, TD, because it allowed me to draw. And I just knew that I wanted to do something that allowed me to create something from scratch, just use my creative talents.
Remi started his Lagos-based design firm in 2016, creating eclectic yet functional workspaces for Nigerian startups like Venture Garden Group.
I want to give you guys a quick tour of the space. The idea was about this is whenever anyone comes to this space, they should get the opportunity to just sit down and look at this wall. We wanted to have a green wall using actual plants. It's a very interesting project because the design theme is very industrial. Welcome to the office. So it was a 20-year-old abandoned warehouse. It's called a honeycomb because it's for busy bees. We had the opportunity to get a standard office space or this depolluted warehouse. And I told the client, like, look, if you're trying to do something that's very impactful and it's going to be very exciting, I would choose this one. It's going to be a lot more challenging. However, I think the end result is going to be fantastic. And the client took a very bold step with us.
The construction in Nigeria is extremely notorious for not working out well, having a million issues. Remi's attention to detail in making sure that he delivered on the space that he promised. You get that sense of comfort.
Right, so we took a shipping container, right, and we more or less converted it into a working booth, right? And the general idea is that it's has of micro efficiencies. It has power adapters, and people can easily jump in there and work from that space.
Before establishing himself as a designer and entrepreneur, Remi began his career as an architect.
Let's explore what colors we can use to create the continuity. I actually ended up not really liking architecture. I actually said I was done with this industry, especially in 2008 with the financial crisis. And at that point in time, job searching was so difficult that when I called companies, they would say, dude, man, if you're an architect, look for another field.
He eventually pursued a master's degree in business, which helped him mold his creative vision into something more lucrative.
Business school was the first time I got to learn about a lot of business principles. So that really just opened up the doors as to the kind of jobs I could get. I realized I just didn't have to focus on this particular industry. I could apply for jobs in different areas. And I was looking for a job that would bring me back to Nigeria. Luckily for me, I found a company that was a perfect fit. I got the opportunity to work with Google. The first thing I noticed working at Google was the workspace of the Google office in Lagos, Nigeria wasn't as inspiring as some of the other offices that I had seen during my travels for work.
With the help of a program at Google, Remi took matters into his own hands and redesigned the tech giant's Lagos office.
Visitors that came to the office kept asking, wow, really nice office. This is the best office space I've seen in Nigeria. Who designed it? And then with demand and supply, people started asking me to see if I could work with them. And that's why we're here today right now.
Although Spacefinish has seen success in its early stages, Remi is focused on how his startup can further impact Nigeria and Africa as a whole.
And that was the goal, to have an office that drove productivity and collaboration amongst myself and my peers.
I'm very fixated on changing how people view office spaces across the continent, right? And I know that we just started our journey, but I think that it's an opportunity to do a lot of things, not just in Nigeria, in Ghana, in South Africa, in Kenya, in Rwanda. You know, we want to have a Pan-African footprint, and I want to be in a space where we are training the new generation of designers, and they are getting the right platforms that allows them to show their talents. Where's the power coming from?
So it's coming from this other side.
From your drywall?
Yeah.
From that drywall?
Yeah, from the drywall.
Okay. I think that there's a generation of people who are going to do really amazing things here in Nigeria, and not just in Nigeria, just across Africa. I'm betting big on Nigeria. I feel like there's a lot of human capital here, and a lot of entrepreneurs and companies here who are really pushing the boundaries to do really amazing things.